All right, y'all, it is time for my Q1 of 2022 goals progress video. So if you want to hear how I'm doing on my goals so far this year, keep on watching. Hey guys, it's me, Kay, and you've arrived at my weird little corner of the internet. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller mostly on eBay and Poshmark, and like I said in the intro, this is a goal progress update for 2022. So it is April 21st, I believe, and I'm finally ready to share all of my progress with you for the first 3 months of the year. So if you haven't watched this video right here, I went over my 2021 goals recap as well as introduced the goals that I was trying to accomplish this year in 2022. In that video, I shared with you 12 total goals under 3 different categories, 4 in each, and they were business, personal, and financial. We're gonna start with the business first because that's just first on my list. And I have my handy dandy notebook here with all of my goals and numbers for you written down so that I don't have to pause this video and edit too much. So here we go. Goal number 1 for business was to profit $25,000 reselling. So if you watched my reseller recap for 2021, I talked about how I made over $22,000 in profit that year from reselling. Most of you know, and like I say in my intro, this is my side hustle. It is not currently my full-time income. So this is our, what I call fun money for traveling, home renovations, any of that stuff. It doesn't go towards my bills. It also goes towards paying off debt, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So my goal for this year is to profit $25,000. I was a little bit conservative with this, to be honest with you, because I just don't know where this year is going to take me as far as my side hustle. So more to come on that in a little bit. But if I wanted to make $25,000 reselling, that would break down to $6,250 per quarter. And to end off the first quarter of this year, I've made $7,785.31 in profit. So I am on track. March was the best month for me so far. It was the second highest profit month I've ever had. The first one being September of last year, where I made just under $3,000. And so far April has tanked for me. I don't know if it's to do with the Poshmark algorithm, but eBay also hasn't been that great. So I'm not even halfway to where I was last month. So that's a little bit disappointing, but hopefully this little extra cushion will help me still reach that goal this year. Goal number 2 under business was to earn $500 on YouTube. So if you didn't know, I just became monetized on YouTube in the middle of November last year. So I didn't really have too much to go on when I came up with this number in my head. In December, I did a video every single day. So I did Vlogmas and then some. So my revenue, I think, was a little bit skewed because I was posting so frequently that I had a lot more than I could reasonably expect to get per month. So in Q1, I've made so far on YouTube $96.15. So still a ways to go, but you know, hopefully as I get, you know, more and more subscribers, which ties into the next item, I will get more views and thus more revenue, but we'll see. I really just do this for fun, not for the money. So, you know, it is what it is. It just would be nice to have like another revenue stream. So like I said, it brings me to point number 3 under business, which is to hit 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. As of March 31st, that's when I pulled all of these numbers. I had 1,301 of you, and I appreciate you all. Even if you don't watch my videos and you just subscribe, I still appreciate you. So if you enjoy my content, please share me out to your friends. I would love that. I would really love to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube this year. So we'll see how that goes. So far, I'm doing okay. And the last sale under the business header is to make a $300 plus sale. I'm hoping that that Canada Goose jacket that I got in the ThreadUp men's designer box, if you haven't seen that, I will link that video in the cards. I don't know. I haven't had any hits on it yet. I did list it under both men's and women's on Poshmark because it's a men's size extra small. So that would definitely fit a women's small as well. but I don't know, maybe I'll have to send that into the Real Rail, and if they sell it for over $300, I'll still count that, but we'll see. Maybe I'll find some other crazy good bolo this year and sell that. So my highest sale in 2021 was a Build-A-Bear plush for $250. It went to Canada, so that's kind of why I did this one at $300. That's been my highest sale so far, and I want to increase that. All right, the second category we're going to talk about is my personal goals. So the first one in this is to read all 7 Harry Potter books. I'm a huge Potterhead. My feelings towards the author aside, I just love them. They helped me get through a really rough time in my life. I have mentioned this before, and I started the year off really strong, and I read the first 4 before February even started. So then I needed a little bit of a break from Harry Potter, and what I've been doing is reading the books and then watching the movie, because I want to, in my head, compare and contrast the storylines. So yeah, I read some finance books because I'm trying to learn a lot more about that, and I will talk about that in a little bit as well. So I am still on a break. I haven't started Order of the Phoenix yet, but hopefully soon, and I don't see any problem with me completing this goal this year. Next on the personal is to purchase my tiny home on wheels. So if you follow me over on Instagram, I talk a lot about, and I share some builds that I see, but I talk about wanting to, you know, go on the road once Liv is graduated and, you know, she has a life of her own and she's, you know, out of the nest, so to speak. I want to be able to just travel around the US in a little camper or a converted van, something like that. So my goal for this year was to purchase the vehicle, whether it's already done or it needs, you know, my help to make it mine. So we'll see. I don't quite know if I'll get there this year. This was kind of like my dream goal that I might not reach, but it's on here anyway. And the third one under personal is to go 1 month without ginger ale. So if you watched my 2021 recap and 2022 goal setting video, I talked about how it was January 2nd when I was filming it, and I had just started my month of ginger ale. So I did that. I went into like the first full week of February. So I definitely went the whole month, and it did reduce how much I'm drinking now. So right now I'm only doing about 1 per week. Sometimes I have 2 if I'm having a really rough week, because it's like my vice. But I'm really glad that I did that. It made me feel so much better. Okay, and the last goal in my personal category is to leave my full-time job. So I talked about this in the previous video about how I originally was going to quit my full-time job, but I didn't want to put that because I don't necessarily know if I can sustain me and Liv's lives with just reselling. I'm sure I could if I had more time to devote to it, because I'm obviously working full-time, so I don't have the, you know, hours to put into this other than, you know, like after work. So it does, you know, kind of take down how much income I can reasonably make from reselling. So I don't know, but I just don't want to be working for this company anymore by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. I have been interviewing quite a bit, but because I've been with my company for 16 years, I get paid pretty well for what I do. So the salary is usually pretty off. The most recent interview I did was $20,000 less than what I make now, and I'm not quite willing to do that if I'm going to work for someone else still. So if I was just gonna go into reselling, I would be willing to take that amount of cut, but to work for someone else, I'm not for it. So that one's still up in the air. All right, so the last category we're gonna talk about is my financial goals. And the first one in this is to make 2 extra mortgage payments. I started this when I first purchased my home in the summer of 2020. Yep, right in the middle of a panini. It's been an adventure, but I did this last year, and so what I normally do, or what I did last year, was make 1 in Q2 and then the second one in Q4. It's just a nice way to, you know, reduce the amount of interest you're paying over the life of the loan. I don't intend to stay here for the full 30 years. Because like I said, I want to be in my tiny home on wheels. So I don't know, maybe I will still be here and I'll be like renting this out while I'm on the road. I don't quite know yet, but I still just want to make those 2 extra payments while I can, to, you know, be better for me in the long run. All right, goal number 2 under financial is to continue with the 2 savings goals that I created last year. So the first one is what I call the 26 paycheck challenge. So I get paid bi-weekly from my full-time job, and so every time I get paid by them, I put a certain amount into a separate savings account. So I started with $5 last year, and every pay period I increased that amount by $5. So 5, 10, 15, and then on the very last pay period of the year, I put in $130. I forget the exact figure because I am crap with math, but I think it's around $1,700 once you do all 26 weeks, you know, plus interest if you have it in a savings account. And so I did it this year again, except I started in reverse. So the first pay period I put $130 in, and then I'll end with 5, just so that when it comes time for, you know, Christmas and holidays, I am not putting as much money into that account. The second savings goal that I started last year was a Thursday temperature savings account. So every Thursday, I now have an alarm on my phone, which it's actually Thursday today. So at 1 o'clock, I go to my weather app, and wherever I am that day, whether I'm on vacation or home, I screenshot and I take that temperature and turn it into a dollar amount and put that dollar amount into a savings account. So today's number was 59 degrees. So I put $59 into that savings account. Last year when I did this, I don't know how many Thursdays there were in 2021. Maybe I'll do some research and put that on the screen for you. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But last year I had just under $3,000 in that savings account after just 1 year of doing this. So it's a good and easy way, at least for me right now, while I still have a stable income from my full-time job, to put money in there. So on March 31st, I had $792.47 in the 26-week paycheck challenge account. And for the Thursday temperature savings account, I had $567.26. And now, since it's getting nicer out, that amount will probably increase quite a bit in Q2 and Q3. Goal number 3 under the financial is to reduce my student loan debt to $5,000. I started 2022 at $12,500. And since then I've only paid off $500. I've paid a little bit more since the end of March, but you know, we're talking about Q1. So as of March 31st, my balance was $12,000. So it still leaves me with $7 grand left to pay off to reach this goal. So my thought process behind this was I paid off my car loan entirely at the end of 2021. It was close to $10,000 that I had left, and I just paid it off in one lump payment. I was paying $600 per month on my car prior to that. So that works out to what, $7,200 per year, which, you know, it would take me $7,500 to pay off, you know, from $12,500 to $5,000. So I figured that I would just take that money and roll it into my student loan debt. So far I'm not doing that because I'm trying to save for some other things, but I am pretty confident that I will still get this done this year. And the last goal under financial, and the last goal we're going to talk about, is to invest 10% of my reselling income. So like I said earlier, I've been trying to learn a lot about finance. I want to retire early. I don't want to spend my whole life working for somebody else or just working in general. I'll obviously probably always have a side hustle of some kind. I've just always been wired that way since I started working as a teenager. So what I've been doing is about 7 to 10 days after the end of the month, to account for returns and anything like that, I've been taking 10% of my net profits for that month and putting them into a brokerage account. So I have a brokerage account already because I have a 401k from my full-time job. So I just went with them because it was the easiest option for me. And it has gone down a little bit because it's invested in like basically the S&P 500. This is not financial advice. I'm not the person to go to about that. But as of March 31st, the balance in there was $757.15. Since my Q1 profit overall was $7,785.31, it has gone down, you know, like $23 or so. So it's not a terribly large amount to have lost, but I'm really happy with this. I'm excited to see where it can go moving forward. What I currently do This is just my personal situation. So with my full-time job, I'm actually saving 45% of my income. So every time I get paid, I'm putting 45% of that into a savings account. That's not the ideal method. It'd be better to invest that money versus just drop it into a savings account that gets like 1% interest per year, versus like, I think the average is like 6% for the S&P 500, something similar to that. Don't quote me on it though. But yeah, so the idea is that once I pay off my student loan debt and I don't have any more debt other than my mortgage, I'm going to take that 45% and put it into an investment account. So we'll see how that goes. I will, of course, keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, that's all of the goals that I have set for myself in 2022 and how they are going so far. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. I really appreciate every single one of you. I really hope that you know that. And let me know how your goals for 2022 are going down in the comments below. I really love to hear that stuff. I love to hear about people succeeding and achieving their goals. It's just awesome. I love to spread that positivity. But that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube to know what type of content you enjoy seeing from me. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing and help me hit that 2,000 sub goal by the end of this year. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.